What is up, guys, and welcome back to part 23 of my F1 2016 career mode here at the Bahrain Grand Prix. If you missed the Australian Grand Prix and of course Season 1 as well, there's a little card annotation in the top right hand corner of your screens right now to go catch up there with everything that happened over last season and in the season opener at the Australian Grand Prix. But I've given you enough chances to go check out that video, so I'm going to go spoil it. Now, last time out at the Australian Grand Prix, I mean, you can pretty much tell anyway just looking at the screen. We got second place in that race. It was an absolutely fantastic race. A little bit disappointed that we didn't win it because we were leading the race for such a long time. But unfortunately, you know, the Ferraris, they are just too quick at the moment in my career mode. So we do need to find something to try and get past those guys. But as second place with Roman Grosjean finishing in third, definitely threw up a bit of surprises in that race at Australia. So, you know, it could be a bit of a jumbled up season this year in 2017. We're just going to have to wait and see for how that pans out. It might just all, you know, sort itself out as the season goes on. We're just going to have to wait and see. But this time around at the Bahrain Grand Prix, you know, we've got a lot of upgrades coming onto the car after everything that we did in Australia going onto the car today from all the R&D points that we saved up from last season. So we've got a lot going on the car right now. We're going to find out exactly how much that means in terms of performance as we head over to Chris.
Hey, good to see you again. The factory sent over the parts that were looking good on the rig. They're being fitted as we speak. Have a look at the report.
So there's Chris there just telling us about our performance upgrades, and once again we just take a look at the sheet for about 10 seconds and just, you know, hand it off. We don't really care. That's just too much writing for us to read. But we've upgraded the engine once. We've got 8 brake horsepower on that. We've upgraded the fuel efficiency twice, so that puts it to the third upgrade for the fuel efficiency, which is brilliant. It means that we can run in fast mix for a lot longer in these races. And then we also upgraded the drag on our car, ready for tracks like, you know, Bahrain, China, Russia, that's straight on Spain. You've also got Canada, so we've got a lot of tracks coming up where, you know, having not that much drag is going to be really, really handy. So just having a look at the laptop, the only other teams to really upgrade their car, the only other team is Toro Rosso, which is a bit surprising that only 2 teams have upgraded their cars in this new season. So hopefully the other teams do start to pick up the pace soon, and I think that's going to put Toro Rosso close to us still. Yeah, we are just behind Mercedes as well, so we can possibly jump them after the Chinese Grand Prix. I don't think we'll be able to upgrade our car after this one, but possibly after China we could potentially jump Mercedes and Ferrari, but we're just going to have to wait and see for that. But for now, let's over to the practice session for the Bahrain Grand Prix.
Welcome to the deserts of Bahrain, where the Formula One circus has rolled into town. We're expecting the cars to appear out on track shortly to start today's practice session.
Here we are then going over my first couple of laps in this practice session. Just going through the track acclimatization as we usually do, down towards the line, and we managed to get a purple score here on the second lap of trying at Bahrain, which was absolutely fantastic. And yeah, purple score here in the track acclimatization. We're not going to do the tyre wear management or the qualifying pace until free practice 2, because obviously it's going to be more relevant due to the time of the day because we won't be running in the dry. But unfortunately this happened when we tried to get a fully purple score in the Bahrain track acclimatization in FP1. We just get too much on the curb there on the rear wheels, and it was enough to put our car into a spin and into the wall. And for some reason something broke there on our car. Not too sure what it was. None of the tyres fell off, so I'm not too sure what broke on the car, but unfortunately that meant the end of our session in FP1. But we're not too sad about it because we won't be running in those conditions in qualifying or in the race, because it's going to be a lot darker and a lot cooler as well. So we decided to head out in FP2 and really start to go through the tyre wear management, just make sure that we got that, which we did. We managed to get a purple score on that, which was absolutely fantastic. So we got that one done, which was brilliant, and yeah, more points for our resources. And hopefully we can get a couple of upgrades maybe after this race, but I don't think that's going to be possible because then we tried to do the qualifying one, and unfortunately the lap times that we set just weren't quick enough to beat the lap time that the team wanted. So it was a little bit disappointing that we couldn't do that, and we lost out a bit of research and development points because of that. But nevertheless, we'll head over to qualifying, and hopefully we can improve as the sessions go on. But P13 in FP2, not too bad on the super soft tyres, although we've got a lot of guys on soft tyres going fast enough. So like I said, we just need to try and improve as FP3 as qualifying goes on, and hopefully get into Q3. But we're going to have to wait to see for that. But for now, let's head over to the qualifying sessions.
The cars are ready, the drivers are ready. We hope you're ready as qualifying is about to begin here in Bahrain.
Here we are then in the first qualifying session for today's Bahrain Grand Prix. I reckon we should be able to get out of Q1 very, very easy, but we will go out and take a little bit of caution going out for, I think we'll probably go out for like one lap at the start, see what time that lap time is good enough for, and then see whether we need to go out for more lap times at the end. Because usually I go out right at the end of the session, and if I miss it, then I've got no chance of getting back. So this time around, I'm going to go right at the beginning of the session, and then see how we do later on. So that's what we're going to do. Let's head out on track and see if we can get into Q2. Here we are then going over my first lap here in this qualifying session in Q1, coming down towards the line and around the final corner, and DRS being activated now down across the line. It's a 1:32.441. It's good enough for pole position at the moment, but obviously this is only Q1, so it doesn't really mean too much, but it's good news. It means we're in first position. We should be able to get into Q2 with that lap time, and we do. We get 7th position in this qualifying session. Jolyon Palmer also making it into Q2 as well, which is absolutely fantastic. And then we have some guys who did not make it through, which was Valtteri Bottas, Nico Hülkenberg, Pascal Wehrlein, Rio Haryanto, Marcus Ericsson, and Felipe Nasr. So unfortunately those guys not making it into Q2, but nevertheless, let's see how we do. Here we are then in Q2, just going around the final corner and down towards the line. We will be wanting to set a good lap time in this qualifying session to try and get into Q3 and bat it out with the other guys for the top 10 shootout, which we do manage to do at the moment. We are in P1, so a fantastic lap there here in qualifying. Is it going to be enough, though, to get us into Q3? It should be, because we're beating everybody else at the moment. Vettel going fast, though, so yes, it is. Managed to get 7th position in that qualifying session. Kimi Räikkönen getting 6th place on those soft tyres, so he is set up very, very nicely indeed for tomorrow's race, because he will of course be starting the race on those soft tyres. So looks like Kimi Räikkönen is playing the strategy card at the moment and doing it very, very well. But we managed to get through in 7th position with Jolyon Palmer also getting into Q3 as well, which is absolutely fantastic news. And now let's see how we do in the top 10 shootout. Here we are then in Q3, right at the beginning of the session. Not a lot of drivers to set a time at the moment. Lewis Hamilton going fastest for now. We're coming down towards the line. DRS open. Our lap time is only good enough for a 5th position in this qualifying session, a 1:32.225. Not too bad, but 5th is exactly where the team want me to get in the qualifying session, I believe. It might be 4th or 5th, but here we are coming round the final corner once again for our second lap here in qualifying. Down towards the line. Was the time good enough? It's jumped us up into 5th position. We're 1 place off where the team wants us to get. So we need to try and improve on our lap time and try and get Max Verstappen. If we can improve by maybe about 0.2 of a second, we should definitely be up there with Max Verstappen. And at the moment, we are improving by 0.2 of a second. We come down towards the line, across the line. What is the lap time good enough for? I think it might be pole position, actually. It is! We have got pole position in the Bahrain Grand Prix, the second race of the season. And we have got our first pole position in this F1 2016 career mode. What a fantastic result there here in Bahrain. A brilliant result for myself, getting P1 in qualifying, beating Lewis Hamilton by 41 thousandths of a second. Danny Kvyat also getting up there in 3rd position, losing out by 43 thousandths of a second. So very, very close there between the top 3 drivers. So it goes myself in pole position. Alongside me is Lewis Hamilton in his Mercedes. Danny Kvyat with a fantastic result in his Toro Rosso takes home 3rd place in qualifying. Nico Rosberg lines up alongside him in 4th, with Max Verstappen in 5th. Carlos Sainz, the other Toro Rosso, in 6th place, with Sebastian Vettel in 7th. My teammate Jolyon Palmer surprisingly down in 8th position. I mean, if we're getting pole position, then surely Jolyon Palmer should at least be getting 5th place here in qualifying. So a little bit disappointed with that result. Daniel Ricciardo, he takes home 9th, with Kimi Räikkönen rounding out the top 10. But Kimi is starting on the soft tyres, so expect Kimi Räikkönen to definitely be up there later on in the race and possibly battling for the race win with myself. But without any further ado, let's head over to the race for the Bahrain Grand Prix.
There's something in the Bahrain air tonight, and I'm not just talking about the sand. Our brightest minds have thrust their brightest ideas into the spotlight of the Sakhir circuit this evening as we look ahead once more to a Grand Prix that has thrilled us so consistently in the past. Formula One returns to the desert today on this exceptional 3.36-mile circuit. 15 corners provide plenty of overtaking opportunities, and 2 DRS zones will help with that as well. It could be a strategic race, this one, with Sakhir notorious for eating up the rear tyres. Watch out for drivers managing their rubber at some point during the Grand Prix. I'm joined again today by none other than Anthony Davidson. Tell me, Ant, obviously there's a lot of development work that goes on with these cars between the races. You've been both a test driver and a race driver. What differences are there in the way you approach those roles?
Interesting question, Crofty. They're two very different mindsets. I mean, when I tested for BAR, we had full in-season testing where, per driver, you'd cover up to 15,000 kilometres per season. And in that role, it was more about working for the team, trying to help them improve the car and drive as systematically as you could, so that that data could be analysed in the most consistent way. When you're lining up on the grid for a race, however, your frame of mind's all about what you can get out of the situation on that day, and the car's the tool to help you achieve what you want. You still want to focus on setup, of course, but it's more about the here and now, getting yourself as far up the field as possible, and less about development work for the future.
You've done well to put it on pole, but we've still got work to do. Trying to cover the inside line off the start.
It's race day here in Bahrain, starting right at the front of the grid after a fantastic qualifying session to get myself my first ever pole position here at the Bahrain Grand Prix. Looking at the race strategy for today's race, we're going to be starting on the super soft tyres. Obviously, we have to do that because we managed to get into the top 3 in qualifying, top 3 into the top 10 in qualifying, so we have to start on the super soft tyres. Then they want me to go on the softs and then go to the mediums at the end of the race. I think I'm going to stick with this strategy for the time being and see how the race goes on. Obviously, if we need to, we will change it about, but for now, we're just going to stick with that strategy and see what we can do with those tyres. But here we are getting away for the formation lap, and because I've never started on the front row before, I completely forget about the formation lap. Lewis Hamilton just drives straight past me, and now I've got to try and make our way back past him and then start our procedure of warming up the tyres, warming up the brakes, and then head back to the starting grid. And here we are on the starting grid for the Bahrain Grand Prix. The lights starting to come on. It's 5 red lights, lights out, and away we go for the Bahrain Grand Prix. Starting in P1, it looks like I'm holding on to the race lead for the time being. Going down into the first corner, under braking. Looks like Lewis Hamilton might have gone into the back of me in towards turn 1. We're going side by side down into turn 2. Holding it round the outside is Lewis Hamilton. We're going to hold it round the outside into turn 3, down towards turn 4. Looks like we got the job done on the Mercedes driver for the time being. We're definitely going to have a look at a replay of what's happened there between myself and Lewis Hamilton as we go nice and tidy through turn 4 and hold on to the lead of the race. Here we go, on board with Lewis Hamilton. Off the race starts. So Lewis Hamilton gets off to a good start there. And now down in towards turn 1. Who's going to come out on top? We obviously know what's going to happen. He's going to go straight into the back of me. And there we go. Just brakes a bit too late in towards turn 1. Goes into the back of me. Loses a big chunk of his front wing there. But luckily for him, it's not a massive amount of damage. And it doesn't mean he's going to slow down. And his race is going to be massively affected. But here we are on board with Lewis Hamilton once again through the final corner, down the start-finish straight. Is he possibly be able to go for a move down in towards turn 1? And here we go, down in towards turn 1. Lewis Hamilton, he's way, way far back at the moment, going down in towards this corner. Very, very late on the brakes, and once again, going straight into the back of my car. Danny Kvyat just drives around him, and he's actually had so much front wing damage that he's slowing down the whole pack, and that means it's going to be great news for myself and Danny Kvyat. But there we go, virtual safety car is now deployed. And as we come across the line, there's a little bit of a glitch at the moment where our delta has shot up to 7 seconds, which means that we can drive around at full pace, whereas the AI have to drive around at normal virtual safety cars. So it was a little bit of a cheat there, but unfortunately a bit of a glitch on the game, and it's really helped me out in this race. It means I've got a massive gap to the guys behind me. But here we are on that 5, making our first pit stop in the race. And looks like Jolyon Palmer is going to be taking the race lead away from me. Possibly he's going side by side with Vettel down towards turn 1, so not too sure who comes out in that battle. But coming out of the pit stops, and looks like it was a quick one, and we are out ahead of the Ferrari behind us, which is absolutely fantastic news. And it should mean that if we can get past Kimi Räikkönen, who is on those softer tyres as well, then we should be in the lead of the race after the pit stop phase. But here we are coming out of the pit stops. Oh, going side by side here with Danny Kvyat. We do need to make sure that we are out ahead of him, which we are at the moment. He goes side by side with Amana, but luckily we are ahead of Danny Kvyat there coming out of the pits. We did need to make sure that we were ahead of him because obviously he was battling for second place with us here in this Bahrain Grand Prix, going down in towards turn 4 now, and going down in towards turn 5 and 6. And looks like Danny Kvyat is going side by side with me at the moment. He's still holding it round the outside. He's going to get the inside line in towards this hairpin. And then down towards turns 9 and 10. He's still holding it on the right-hand side. We need to try and brake later them into the very, very tricky turn 9, turn 10 corner combination in towards this left-hander. Looks like we've locked up a little bit, holding the inside line though. And we do manage to hold on to a 12th position ahead of Danny Kvyat. But remember, that is also a fight for the lead of the Grand Prix after everyone comes in for their scheduled pit stops. And here we are cutting ahead to the end of lap 6 at the moment. Jolyon Palmer has come into the pits. We get an easy move there on Fernando Alonso just because we're so much faster in a straight line. And now up next for us is Esteban Gutierrez in the Haas. So we'll be looking to get past him fairly easily as well, just like we did to Fernando Alonso. We will get DRS on the Haas drivers, so it should be an easy move going down in towards turn 1. Jolyon Palmer coming out of the pits at the moment, but we're definitely going to get the job done on him. And there we go, up into P9 in this Bahrain Grand Prix, right behind Marcus Ericsson and Felipe Massa. And I reckon it shouldn't be too long before we get past these two drivers as well. Going down in towards turn 4, we're right on the back of Marcus Ericsson. Will we possibly be having a look down the inside in towards turn 4? There we go, easy move once again on Marcus Ericsson. Just sort of working our way through the back markers at the moment. Up next for us is Felipe Massa, and we cut ahead to turn 10 on lap 7, right behind the Williams driver at the moment. DRS is activated, pulling over to the right hand side. We're going to go around the outside in towards turn 11. Can we get the job done on Felipe Massa? We've already got the job done before we've even got to the corner, but he just sticks his nose up the inside. We give him a little bit of room just in case he does actually go for the move, because obviously we don't want to ruin our race this early on. And now we are right on the back of Felipe Massa, right on the back of a podium at the moment, going up the inside in towards turn 11. And there we go, job done on the Sauber driver, but he is still holding it round the outside, but then he gives up position, and we take third position away from him. Kimi Räikkönen has now come into the pits, so he is currently behind us, and Valtteri Bottas finally pits on those medium tyres. So now we have retaken the lead of this Bahrain Grand Prix. But remember what happened in Australia, where we were leading for so long, but those Ferraris are so quick in this season that we do need to be aware of both of those guys getting past us. And this is where we actually lost out last time out in Australia, was actually in the pit stop phase. So we do need to be aware of that. Obviously Ferrari's pit garage is before our one, so they will get priority over us if they do get a quick pit stop. So we do need to be aware of that. We're getting a new set of medium tyres, which should take us to the end of the race. And unfortunately, we have actually been jumped by Sebastian Vettel, so we do need to get past him down into maybe turn 1 or turn 4. That's going to be our best overtaking opportunity, and if we don't get the job done there, then I don't think we're going to get the job done at all, unless we can stick behind him towards the DRS zone. But here we are coming out of the pits. We're just going to come out ahead of the Force India of Nico Hülkenberg. We needed to make sure that we did that as well, because if we were held up by Nico Hülkenberg, then we might as well have said goodbye to the race win. But we're right behind Sebastian Vettel at the moment, going down in towards turn 4, going up the inside possibly, which we do. Up the inside, Sebastian Vettel. There's a yellow flag at the moment. There was no contact between me and Sebastian Vettel. I think he just gave me loads of room going in towards that corner. We might have a look at a replay of that, which we do. So here we are going down in towards turn 4. Sebastian Vettel, we dive it up the inside, and Seb just turns away from the corner. And there we go, an easy position for us. He actually loses position to Nico Hülkenberg as well. So very, very strange on board with Sebastian Vettel. Not too sure why he did that, why he gave us the position so easy. He could have easily just hung it around the outside, and it would have been a very, very nice battle. But nevertheless, I take 7th position away from Seb, and at the moment do have the race lead. But here we are. There's a couple of drivers in the pits at the moment, including my teammate Jolyon Palmer, and also including Kimi Räikkönen, I believe. And Kimi Räikkönen is coming out of the pits right now, and it looks like he has actually got the jump on us. So we've locked up down in towards turn 1. We need to get a good run out these couple of corners, get a good run on Kimi Räikkönen, which we don't actually do. We lose the back end quite a bit through turn 3 there. And running down in towards turn 4, will we be possibly doing the same move that we did on Sebastian Vettel? We do, and Kimi Räikkönen, just like his teammate, runs wide. Really, really strange thing happening in this race, where the Ferraris just do not want to battle down in towards turn 4. Not too sure why this is happening, but nevertheless, I'm going to take that. It's an easy overtaking opportunity down in towards turn 4 on both of Ferraris, and something that we would definitely keep in mind for later on the race if those guys do want to go for an overtake. We're getting past Sergio Perez at the moment, just once again getting through the back markers. Sergio Perez giving us a little bit of a fight around the outside of the final corner, but then he just gives up on the moves. We get a better drive out of the final corner. Now we're right on the back of Valtteri Bottas going down into the final corner, but we don't decide to go for a move in towards there. Obviously, we are sort of leading the race at the moment. We don't want to ruin our race by getting damage on the car, so we're not going to make any stupid moves. But here we are following right behind the Williams of Valtteri Bottas in the slipstream, in the DRS. It's going to be an easy move over to the right-hand side, down in towards turn 1. And there we go, job done on Valtteri Bottas, up into the lead of the race once again. And hopefully, Valtteri Bottas can hold up Kimi Räikkönen and Sebastian Vettel, which he actually does for a while. But unfortunately now we've got Kimi Räikkönen right on our tail as we run down in towards turn 4, and he goes up the inside into that corner. We're going to have to try and hold it round the outside into turn 4, which we do, and we get a great drive out to the corner there, and there we go, up into the lead of the race once again, but we run it very, very wide in towards turn 10. That allows Kimi Räikkönen to have a look up the inside and have more than a look up the inside. He's going side by side, and he's got the move done down in towards turn 11. Can we possibly get the move done up the inside in towards turn 11? Very late on the brakes. We're going to the side of the Ferrari driver, giving him a big barge out of the way. That puts us up into the lead of the race once again, but we are going to give that position back to him because we did get it illegally from the Ferrari drivers. There we go. We've given the position back to Kimi Räikkönen. Sebastian Vettel also trying to get past there, but we're not going to give him that. Seb just trying to be a little bit cheeky and try and get past as we're trying to let Kimi through. But now we have great opportunity to get past Kimi Räikkönen going down in towards the final corner. We need a good drive out of here, which to be fair, we do. We are right on the back of Kimi Räikkönen, so close to the gearbox of that Ferrari right now. DRS activated, pull over to the right hand side, but that Ferrari is still very quick in a straight line. It puts up a good fight, but unfortunately it's just not quick enough due to the help of DRS. And there we go, job done, up into the lead of the race once again, and only 4 laps left to go in this Bahrain Grand Prix. Can we hold on to the lead of the race and get my first ever victory in this 2016 season? We're just going to have to wait and see as we're on board with Kimi Räikkönen following in the slipstream at the moment. He will have DRS activated going down in towards turn 1. Can he get the job done in towards this corner? He's following in the slipstream, using the DRS, pulls over to the left-hand side. Going to try it round the outside into turn 1. No, he doesn't. Can he get the job done? No, he can't. He locks up into the corner. He's actually lost out to his teammate Sebastian Vettel, who will now have an excellent run down in towards turn 4 and possibly also be able to go for a move in towards turn 4. So here we are watching on board with Sebastian Vettel, trying it round the outside. Can he get the move done? No, he runs it wide like he did earlier. Coming back onto the track, there's contact between the two Ferraris. Drama late on to this Bahrain Grand Prix. Sebastian Vettel crashes into his teammate. He also collides with a Toro Rosso as well. And whoa, what on earth is happening here at this Bahrain Grand Prix? How on earth has that happened? We've pretty much been gifted the race win here in Bahrain. He's on board with Kimi Räikkönen. So he goes to the left-hand side, going down in towards turn 1. And he just locks up massively into this corner. You can just see the smoke coming off the right tyre there. And that's how we got the move done on him, and how Sebastian Vettel also got past Kimi Räikkönen. Now watching on board with Sebastian Vettel. So he gets great slipstream and a great drive down towards turn 4. Tries it around the outside. And just like we saw earlier, just goes very, very wide into the corner. And as he comes back onto the racing line, collides with his teammate, who goes into the gravel trap and into the wall. So Sebastian Vettel then comes back onto the track, has a collision with a Toro Rosso, who then drives into him once again, and he's on board with Kimi Räikkönen. So in towards this right-hander, Seb just comes straight back onto the racing line. Kimi Räikkönen goes into the gravel and just has to avoid the wall there, reverses up, and he's lost so much time in this race. There's a Toro Rosso driving into the back of Sebastian Vettel. Hopefully we get a replay of what happened there, and here we go. Here is Danny Kvyat. There's a contact between the two Ferraris, and yes, Seb just once again comes straight back onto the racing line in front of the Toro Rosso of Danny Kvyat, who then drives straight into the back of Sebastian Vettel once again. So really, really strange things happening here in this Bahrain Grand Prix, but nevertheless, we have been gifted this race win here at the Bahrain Grand Prix. We have such a huge margin over the Ferraris and the Toro Rossos now, who are in second place, because they were holding up, Sebastian Vettel was holding up everybody for such a long time. And that means that we are going to come down to the final corner here in this Bahrain Grand Prix. It's been such a good drive from us. We've kept our nose clean. We've stayed out of trouble. We did exactly what we needed to do. We defended amazingly against the two Ferraris. And nevertheless, we're going to come down towards the line for my first ever win in F1 2016.
Absolutely fantastic. It's a brilliant result. Well done.
So, another fantastic victory for Renault today. And I have to wonder, Anthony Davidson, just what set them apart from the competition here.
The difference was clearly in the strategy. You could tell they'd done a lot of work on the pit wall to really optimise each stint and get the most out of the tyres. And it highlights just how much of a team sport this really is. But credit to the driver as well, though. There's no good having a well-oiled machine behind the scenes without a talented hand on the wheel, of course.
Here come today's winning drivers, and what a race it was. This is a team that knows success very well in F1, and they're just itching for even more. Congratulations to the Renault team for their excellent win today.
Can you believe it? We are a race winner within the second race of our second season. What a fantastic result for us here in this Bahrain Grand Prix. We were gifted it at the end of the race, but you know, you can't take that away from us. We defended amazingly against the Ferraris. We knew exactly what we needed to do. We allowed Sebastian Vettel to go around the outside of turn 4. We knew he was going to run wide. We didn't know that he was going to crash into his teammate, which was even more amazing for us in this race, that he just gave us that massive margin, 11 seconds to Carlos Sainz. But at the end of the day, we did exactly what we needed to do. We got pole position, we led from there, and it was a fantastic race at the end of the day. Carlos Sainz takes home second place and gets a podium in this Bahrain Grand Prix. Kimi Raikkonen managing to get back on the podium as well, so great comeback from him in those last 2 laps. Julian Palmer getting up into 4th position, a great result for him and a good points for the team. Roman Grosjean finished in 5th with Valtteri Bottas in 6th, Nico Rosberg in 7th, Esteban Gutierrez 8th, Daniel Ricciardo 9th, and Sergio Perez getting the final championship points. Let's have a look at how this affects us in the drivers' standings. Even though the drivers' standings don't exactly mean too much at the moment at this stage of the season, we are currently on 43 points, and for the first time ever, we are leading the Drivers' Championship, which is absolutely amazing. I don't know how long I'll be able to hold on to this. I do expect, like, Kimi Raikkonen to definitely overtake me within the next couple of races. Sebastian Vettel, you know, he is having a dreadful season at the moment. He's the current world champion, but unfortunately, he has not got any points in the first 2 races of the season, which is really, really strange. But yeah, Kimi Raikkonen is the only Ferrari doing a good job for them at the moment, and he's the only one battling me for the championship. So far, this championship is pretty much being handed to Kimi Raikkonen, and I'm there at the moment to possibly try and pick up the pieces and might even have a chance of winning it as well. But not really too much to decide on the Drivers' Championship at the moment. It's only early stage. It's only the second race of the season. We still have a long way left to go, so we're not going to talk too much about that anymore. But let's have a look at the Constructors' standings. And in the Constructors' standings, Renault are now top as well. So we are now on 55 points thanks to those points from Julian Palmer, and we are 15 points ahead of Ferrari at the moment. A fantastic result here at the Bahrain Grand Prix for both Renault drivers, and we are now leading the Constructors' Championship, which is absolutely amazing. But once again, there's still a long way left to go in this season, so I'm not too sure how long we will be able to hold on to the lead of the Constructors' Championship with Ferrari. If they have a couple of good races, which expect them to do, then they should definitely be challenging us for that. But that is it for today's Bahrain Grand Prix. Let's head back to the menus. Here we are then, just taking a quick little look at the rivalry update, and for the first time ever, we have finally managed to beat Max Verstappen in the rivalry. There we go, we managed to finally beat him after such a long time coming. You know, he's beaten us twice already before, but there we go, finally beating Max Verstappen, and that means that we will get a new rival at the Chinese Grand Prix, and I expect it to be most likely Kimi Raikkonen, so that's probably who it is going to be. Unfortunately, we don't have enough resource points to upgrade anything on our car, but if we can get over 900 at the Chinese Grand Prix, then we definitely upgrade the chassis weight on our car to sort of make that look a bit more even and help our downforce and help us in the corners. But that is it for today's Bahrain Grand Prix. As you can see on screens now, we've got 2nd place in Australia, a win in Bahrain, and our season is starting off amazingly in this F1 2016 second season of this career mode. But if you have enjoyed the video, don't forget to smash that like button. Also, subscribe to my channel if you are new around here. We're going to have so much of this career mode coming to you every single day until the end of Season 2. I'm not too sure whether I'll keep that for Season 3. I think definitely for Season 3, we will start to think about doing it every other day, because I'm going to have more things going on. FIFA's going to be out by that time, and obviously the Pro Formula Racing League will be back as well. So by Season 3, we're going to start to think about doing it every other day, or maybe once every 3 days, something like that. But for now, Season 2, I'm definitely 100% committed to doing one episode every single day for you guys. So you can definitely look forward to that. And if you are subscribed, then you never have to miss an episode from me. But I will see you next time at the Chinese Grand Prix. Until then, though, it's goodbye from me.